Hello and welcome to Rise and Unwind. My name is Dan. You know, each and every week we talk to people from across the country about things you could do right here in your neighborhood. And on this week's show, we got this.
I had very little magic trading, kind of no magic trading on this third movie. I had to do practice with the dubs, releasing dubs. But that was kind of it.
The whole community came together. It was just a full circle moment.
All of that and more right here on Rise and Unwind.
Netflix's new limited series, Black Rabbit, is already making waves, set in the high-stakes world of New York City nightlife, and it follows two brothers whose bond is tested by ambitious, family, and danger. The cast features Jason Bateman, Jude Law, and Academy Award-winning Troy Kotsur. Joining us are Troy Kotsur, who plays Joe Mancuso, and Forrest Weber, who plays Junior. Welcome to the show, you two. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
All right, for viewers that are just discovering it, what is Black Rabbit all about?
Black Rabbit is a really exciting, thrilling show that is going to drop on Netflix on the 18th with Jason Bateman and Jude Law leading the way. They play estranged brothers at the beginning of the show who are running a nightclub and restaurant called the Black Rabbit. And when Jason Bateman's character shows up into town after being MIA for a few years, he brings a lot of trouble with him, and Troy and I are some of that trouble.
And the show is set in New York's nightlife scene. What makes the backdrop such a powerful setting for the story?
Well, you know, New York's a place where so much happens underground, and you have a black market. It's not what you see, but it's what people don't see. You have to really look beneath the surface and between the lines when you're going through the story. So it's so nice to show that underworld and what's really going on deep inside the underbelly of New York. And my character has his office in a Russian bathhouse basement. And I'm pretty tall. I'm 6'1". I really had to duck down and go into that Russian bathhouse. That's just one example of the secret hidden corridors in New York City that we show.
And Forrest, what stood out to you most about your character, Junior?
Junior was fascinating. He's a fascinating human being because Junior couldn't be, I think, more different than I am, but everything about Junior I could find truth in. I could find something relatable, right? So he is very much a product of his environment, and he's struggling really the whole time with trying to gain acceptance from his father over here, who, you know, runs a tight ship. And it was really exciting to be able to, step outside, you know, my norm a little more. I've been on a bad guy streak, played, 3 or 4 in a row here, but Junior got to amp it up another level and provide us with some really unexpected, hot-tempered, rash decisions that sent the plot into some interesting places. I'll say that.
And what's great about Junior, if I may chime in, is he's a bad guy that also knows sign language. That's really cool.
And Troy, what drew you to playing Joe Mancuso in the series?
Well, the bottom line is so many actors enjoy playing the bad guy or the villain. And, you know, you really didn't have the opportunity to see too many villains who happen to be deaf. Yeah. And so it's really nice to see that on screen. What is that experience like, you know, and to be on that journey of that villain's journey and how he runs his underworld business, which is really fascinating. But, you know, most of us know that in the deaf community, we do have a history of some deaf criminals and folks involved in the black market. But I tried to imagine what it would be like to run this business, and I really wanted to give audiences and give them the opportunity to see this deaf villain in Black Rabbit.
And Troy, you and I, we hung out a couple years ago right before CODA, your big win on CODA, and here's a little picture of us. There it is.
You know, when you met me, I'm still the same person. I'm not a bad guy, just to be clear. Let's separate my real life from my character.
I think that night I had one too many drinks, so look how excited I am there.
Well, maybe I became angry that night. You know, maybe it was because of you.
That could be it. That's what happened. Working alongside Jason Bateman and Jude Law, what moments really stuck out with you guys?
I'll say being able to learn from them on set on a day-to-day basis was an absolute treat. They both operate at such a high level, but what was really special about them was how open and collaborative that they were. And to a newcomer like me, they were like, come sit at the table, trust yourself. You know, we trust you. So being given that level of freedom from A-listers like that is the treat of a lifetime, and I can't sing their praises enough.
Hey, I want to thank you too for joining me this morning. Black Rabbit is now streaming on Netflix. Check it out.
Thank you. Have a good day.
What happens when ambition, loyalty, and survival collide in the oil fields of West Texas? Landman from Oscar-nominated creator Taylor Sheridan is back on Paramount Plus, and season 2 is already making waves. So joining me this morning are Jacob Lofland, who stars as Cooper Norris, and Mustafa Speaks, who brings serious intensity as Boss. Welcome to the show, you two. How are you?
Good. Doing great. How are you?
Doing good. All right, season 2 dives right in. Where do we pick up with your characters and how have things changed since last season?
It's really a direct continuation. I think we're jumping right back into things, and yeah, we've got a filled season with a star-studded cast and some great writing to bring off the page, and hope the world loves it.
And Taylor Sheridan's shows always have this like raw, real energy. What's it like working with him and his storytelling world and getting that distinct Sheridan grit?
Well, for me, I can liken it to just being in the locker room, you know, in a football season, playing in a championship game. I mean, it's just that real, raw, authentic energy. And Taylor is just so focused and has such a vision for what it is he wants that you can trust his leadership, and that trickles all the way down.
Agreed. That's beautiful.
And the show captures both the boom and the burden of the oil industry. How did you both bring that emotional weight to your performances?
I think we were fortunate enough in the first season. They put us in a roughneck camp, and it really opened our eyes to the world and the dedication, the risk involved, the danger that's just element and looming every day. So that really helped us to put ourselves in it. When you realize what's on the line, what's at stake, it raises the bar just a touch.
And you both have worked on some pretty big projects like Joker 2, Joe Pickett, Maze Runner. What makes Landman stand out for you guys personally?
Well, for me, what stands out is just the story. I mean, of course, not taking anything away from all of the other projects, amazing projects I've worked on, but this just has a distinct stamp. And the stamp is what makes it so popular amongst the people is the authenticity and telling this story that otherwise would have never been told. The people that work in the oil field and control things that we need and use every day. So I absolutely love and gravitate toward real authentic projects like this.
And for anyone who hasn't started season 2 yet, what makes this the perfect time to catch up? And what moments are you most excited for viewers to actually see?
Well, it's a hard question. I don't think I have any moment specifically. I think as a whole, it's just there was so much hard work that went into this season, and it's such a great story. We get to dive into these characters and really get to know who they are, even more so than the first season. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to people's reaction to the entire thing in a whole.
All right.
Hey, I want to thank you two for joining me this morning. You could stream season 2 of Landman right now exclusively on Paramount Plus. It stars Billy Bob Thornton, Demi Moore, Andy Garcia, Sam Elliott, and of course, our guests, Jacob Lofland and Mustafa Speaks. It's a story of power, pressure, and survival in the heart of West Texas. Don't miss it. I want to thank you two for joining me this morning.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
What happens when the line between justice and danger starts to blur? That's the pulse of Blue Lights, the BAFTA-winning police drama set in Belfast that's been called Belfast's answer to The Wire. Now heading into its 3rd season on BritBox, the story follows officers Grace, Annie, and Tommy as they face new threats in a world where crime and corruption are evolving faster than ever. So joining us today are 2 of its stars, Sian Brooke and Katherine Devlin, who share what's ahead for their characters and why this season hits even harder. Welcome to the show, you two. How are you?
Good, it's grand. How are you?
I'm doing good. Okay, Blue Lights has really struck a chord with audiences for its authenticity. What do you think it makes the show feel so real compared to other crime dramas?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great word for it. It's the authenticity of it in many different forms, and I think personally it's very much the fearlessness that it has to show the many different sides of the PSNI, but also Belfast too.
And the season takes us deeper into the world of the organized crime behind Belfast's middle-class front. How does that shift raise stakes for your characters?
Yeah, I think it really does, because sort of you get to the nub of the criminal story, and these individuals that are just trying to do their job, these police officers who are on the receiving end of, you know, the actions that these gangs take, they're sort of, I think the risk gets greater and greater. I know in terms of Grace, her past life as a social worker and this present job, they come face to face, and she tries to sort of rescue this young girl in this series, but by trying to rescue her, she sort of pulls on a thread that takes her deeper into the belly of this, you know, criminal story, and yeah, there's a lot of high stakes drama happening.
And Grace and Annie have both evolved a lot since season 1. What is the most exciting or challenging about exploring where they are now?
I mean, as an actor, it's always really lovely to be challenged, especially emotionally, and she's very much challenged this season. And also you begin to see a real resilience within Annie that you kind of saw a wee bit of it before, but it's very much at the front. And yeah, she's tackling many different things, but particularly her personal life with her mum, and her mum's health begins to be severely affected, and she goes on this journey where it's so alien to her as well, and it's so new, and she doesn't have anyone to fall back on, and she's very much just riding the storm, and you begin to see a character who is struggling.
Hey, I want to thank you too for joining me today. You could catch the new season of Blue Lights streaming now on BritBox, with new episodes dropping weekly through December 18th. If you haven't watched this from the start, seasons 1 and 2 are available now. It's kind of perfect for your next weekend binge. I want to thank you too for joining me today.
Thank
you.
Holiday gatherings are coming up fast, and while they're a great chance to reconnect, they also bring a higher risk of spreading respiratory viruses, especially for adults 65 and older. COVID-19 is still out there, and protecting vulnerable family members matters more than ever. Joining us with smart, easy-to-follow advice is respiratory specialist Dr. Juanita Mora. Hi, Dr. Mora. Thank you for being here.
No, thank you for having me, Kayla, to discuss such important information.
So, Dr. Mora, why are older adults more at risk for severe COVID-19 infections?
So what we have learned over the last 5 years when it comes to COVID-19, one is people greater than 65 years of age are going to be higher risk for COVID-19 complications. One, because naturally our immune system weakens with age. So people greater than 65 years of age are going to have a weakened immune system. Two, they are more likely to have a pre-existing chronic medical condition that makes them higher risk for COVID-19 complications, such as diabetes, high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease. And three, the other thing is just looking at the data. From October of 2024 to September of 2025, what we have seen is 44,000 people have died from COVID-19 in the U.S. And out of those people who have died, 2/3 are people greater than 65 years of age. This is why we have to drive home the point, the importance of vaccination and continuing to protect everyone.
And what should families do before gathering for the holidays to help keep everyone safe?
Sure. My top holiday tips for patients include, number one, everyone gets vaccinated. So everyone to get the most updated COVID-19 vaccines. It's available for everyone 6 months and over. Number two, ventilation, good ventilation inside the home, so that way we stop the propagation of this virus. So turn on those HEPA filters so that way we don't propagate the virus. Number three, if people have any symptoms when it comes to cold symptoms, that they mask, especially around the most vulnerable, the people greater than 65 years of age, those newborn babies. And number four, if people do have any cold symptoms, have them take a COVID-19 test. So that way you don't bring this virus to your family gathering. And number five, universal precautions. Recurrent hand washing is going to be so important and works so well to stop propagation of this virus.
So, Dr. Mora, there's so much mixed information on vaccines. Where should people go for clear guidance on COVID-19 vaccination?
So I always tell patients, number one, trusted messenger for vaccination information, your doctor. Bring your questions, any doubts to your doctor so you can have an open conversation about it. Trustworthy websites include also the Champions for Vaccine Education, Equity, and Progress, cveep.org. Also, your local Department of Public Health and the CDC website that have the most updated information on COVID-19 vaccines.
And what do we need to know about how long COVID affects older adults?
So long COVID is now part of syndromes that we see in clinic. And one thing we know is that what puts people at risk for long COVID syndrome and its complications is recurrent COVID-19 infections. So number one way of protecting yourself is vaccination. We know that this is an inflammatory virus. So as it travels to different organs, it can cause complications. For example, as it travels to the heart, it puts people at risk for arrhythmias, for heart attacks. As it travels to the lungs, it puts people at risk for new onset asthma, COPD, or emphysema. As it travels to the brain, it can also cause a new onset stroke. And now clinical studies are showing the correlation between long COVID and development of Alzheimer's. So this is why it's so important that we continue protecting our patients by vaccinating them.
And finally, where can viewers find local information and access to vaccines?
Sure. So most COVID-19 vaccines are given by primary care doctors. So talk to your primary care doctor or your local pharmacist. They're well covered with private insurance, Medicaid, and Medicare. And if you do not have medical insurance, go to your local Department of Public Health's website, where there's actual listings of free clinics where you can get a COVID-19 vaccine for free. So that way no one gets left out and everyone is protected at that table during the holidays.
Dr. Mora, thank you so much for being on the show with me today.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a beautiful day. Happy holidays.
Do you ever wonder what it really takes to turn an old house into something fresh, warm, and full of life? Fixer to fabulous fans already know. It takes heart, talent, and a whole lot of Mars magic. Dave and Jenny Mars are back with a brand new season dropping December 2nd, and they're diving into everything from storm-damaged homes to charming historic makeovers. And today, we've got the duo, so let's talk to them. Dave and Jenny, how are you, my friends?
We're fantastic. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing pretty good. I wish you guys could come to my house and help me. This place was built in 1905, and it's just like drives me insane. Horsehair in the walls and stuff, so I need your help.
Oh, yeah, horsehair plaster, yes.
We can relate. We have a 1903 house, and it's always needing work.
It's like I can't put a nail in, otherwise I will get half the wall to come back crumbling onto the floor. And I'm like, I need that Jenny and Dave Mars magic, my friends.
I know, but the historic homes just have so much charm and character, and because they're so challenging, they have to, or else you wouldn't be able to put up with it.
If there was more charm, it would be called Bewitched. That's what I think it is. Too much charm, I think. So this new season kicks off with you guys renovating a tornado-damaged home for your child's preschool teacher. What made that project feel so personal for you and your family?
Gosh, the tornadoes that went through that night, they touched or affected just so many people in our community.
Mm-hmm.
One of them being our son Luke's preschool teacher, and we were there the very next day helping with the cleanup and just the devastation. They were one of the worst hit areas. It was awful. A place that you really should feel the safest in your home, that was taken from them. So from the very first day to almost a year later, when they figured out insurance and everything to be able to then start the renovation, we were able to put so many things in that will protect them and their home, their family from future tornadoes, and the whole community came together. It was just a full circle moment that was, I don't know, it was really kind of needed for our area with all the damage that happened.
And you guys have completed more than 300 homes together. What's something that still surprises you when you walk into an older house for the first time?
Oh, I was going to say that we've completed 300 homes together. That really surprises me.
There you go.
I don't even, the math. I think I feel like, and you may get this because you're also in an older home, but I feel like homes, you walk in and you can feel it, like you can feel something in a home. And it's either good or bad. But there's some homes you walk into and you're like, can tell this home has had happy memories here, and it's such a special place. And I'm always curious about the history of homes and the things that have happened within that home and the lives that have been lived there. And so for us to be able to take an old home where families, generations of families have lived in, and then to make it work for a family now, like a modern family, and to renovate it in a way that's super functional. But really, we try to always preserve the history as much as we can. I love that. I love working on historic homes. Those are, both of us do. Those are our favorite for sure.
It goes back to a time when, the character in the home, not only on the interior, but on the exterior, was so much more important. So to be able to add in our own touches and or just bringing that character back to life again it's special.
I think in my house, the character is brought by skunks in the crawl space. That's that little magic that I get sometimes. But
that's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, exactly. Jen, you always add these thoughtful touches that feel so connected to the family. How do you translate who they are into design choices that actually really land?
Yeah, I feel like that's one of my favorite things that I get to do is to try to make the homes personal. I don't have to live there. These families live there, and I want them to feel like I don't want them to walk in and think, oh, this is Jenny Mars. I want them to walk in and say, this feels like me.
Yeah.
So we really do a lot of pre-work that you don't necessarily see in the 42-minute episode, but we really try to get to know the family and get to know the things they love. Just talk to them about their story. Their story is so important. And when you go into someone's home, it should reflect that story.
Yeah.
And so those little touches, sometimes they're really small. I mean, I don't know, like this last house we just revealed, there was a recipe that our homeowner mentioned that her grandma had made that was really special to her. And so we just engraved that on a cutting board and put it in the kitchen. And just something small like that really was really, really meaningful for her. And I think those little touches are what, to me, are my favorite parts of the renovation.
And Dave, your craftsmanship is a huge part of the show. What's a build or restoration this season that really pushed your creativity?
Oh, the stairs, right?
Yeah, we renovated a small cabin that we just didn't have room for a staircase. We had this really great loft space, but we didn't have room for a set of stairs just for code. So we actually. I don't want to mess up the episode, but we have a collapsible staircase that kind of folds out and then goes back into place. And it was such a challenge to figure it out, but it turned out so cool. It's really neat, and it's become an added feature of the house.
Well, thank you two for joining me today. Maybe one day I could be on a future episode where I could go from funky to at least fixer. From where I'm at now, okay? But check out the brand new season of Fixer to Fabulous on HGTV and stream past seasons anytime on Max. If you want more behind-the-scenes stories, design ideas, or updates from the Mars family, you can head to hgtv.com/Fixer to Fabulous. I want to thank you two for joining me today, my friends.
Thanks
for having us,
Thanks
Dan.
so
Appreciate
much.
you.
Bye.
Do you ever wish you could pull off the perfect diamond heist and just disappear in a cloud of smoke? The new suspense thriller, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, brings the 4 horsemen out of retirement, or maybe 5, we'll find out. There adds a new generation of illusionists and stacks the decks with mind-bending twists, prison breaks, and one very big diamond. Lizzy Caplan is back as magician Lula May, who's suiting up with the horsemen for their wildest caper yet. Lizzy Caplan joins us now. Lizzy, thanks for hanging out with us, my friend. How are you?
Thanks for having me.
All right, the return of Lula May. Fans were buzzing when they realized Lula is back in this movie, kind of right in the middle of a big diamond heist. What was the most exciting part about slipping back into Lula May's world of cons, disguises, illusions, and injuring yourself violently?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much everything. I love playing this character. She's ridiculous. She doesn't shy away from being ridiculous. Her tricks are insane, and her attitude about everything is pretty bonkers. So any excuse to slip back into her shoes, I will happily take. Not to mention, I love all of my castmates so deeply on this one that it just doesn't feel like work when we get to make these movies.
And pushing the magic further, this one feels bigger and let's just say, I guess, twistier.
I agree. I think there's more twists in this one for sure.
From your point of view, how did Now You See Me, Now You Don't raise the stakes compared to some of the earlier films?
Like you say, they just the locations keep getting more wild and far-flung. The thriller itself, the heist itself becomes bigger and bigger. And the performances, I hope, become even more fun to watch as we really settle into like playing these characters now for many, many years.
And you were mentioning some of your favorite people are in this film. We could go through the list, like Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Dave Franco, Isla Fisher, Morgan Freeman,
all great.
Rosamund Pike. Yep.
A+ across the board.
But you got newbies in here: Ariana
Yes.
Greenblatt, Justin Smith, and Dominic Sessa. Any words about them?
They were amazing. You know, you never know if new people, especially with such a huge generation gap, are going to vibe as well as the rest of us do. And they absolutely did. They fit in seamlessly. They are wonderful additions.
And just to let you know, I don't want to expose myself like this, but I'm a magician. Yeah. I'm a magician. So I heard that you guys work with real magicians and consultants behind the scenes. And who were you learning from on this film? And what kind of magic trading looked like for you this time around? And who told you all the secrets?
Yeah, I have to say I had very little magic trading, kind of no magic trading on this third movie. I had to do practice with the doves, releasing doves. But that was kind of it. The rest of them had to go to magic school. They learned a bunch of stuff. I learned stuff on the second movie. I'm not a magician. I didn't keep it up. So now I once again know no magic.
Okay, we won't hold it against you. You do make magic look really cool, because I know magicians and not a lot of them are as cool as you guys, all right? That's I just gotta say.
Hey, listen, thanks.
Why see it in a theater without spoiling any of the twists? What do you hope audiences feel when the credits roll, and why is this kind of the heist movie that really plays best on a huge big screen?
Well, I think that there aren't as many movies these days that feel like they were meant to be watched in a movie theater with an audience of people while you're eating popcorn and just enjoying it with a room full of people. It's one of those movies. It is pure entertainment. It's not for sitting and watching it on your phone, although I guess if you want to do that like down the line, sure. But for your first viewing, you should go to the theater, bring your family, bring your parents, bring your kids. It's genuinely fun for people of all ages. These movies don't come around that often anymore.
Lizzy Caplan, I want to thank you for joining me today. You can catch Now You See Me, Now You Don't. It's in theaters now for Showtime's theaters and more on the film. Head to nowyouseeme.movie and look for the hashtag Now You See Me on social media. Lizzy, thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for having me. Have a good day.
Hey, I want to thank you for tuning in to Rise and Unwind. If you want to be on the show, just go to our website, riseunwindtv.com, fill out the form, send it on in. Maybe you could be on a future episode. We have social media. We have a Facebook. We have Instagram. Plus, you can follow our YouTube channel. All of the above is at Rise Unwind. And until next week, that was Rise and Unwind.